All right, peace, family. This is Brandon B. Dixon, and I got my guest host Stephen Contreras here.
Hey, how are you guys doing this morning?
And you're tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. We're live here on YouTube, and we are broadcasting on Apple, Spotify, Google, so on and so forth. All of the podcast channels. And the reason why because a lot of people have been asking us, man. A lot of people like the um just the audio. Actually, I guess they don't like to see our face or whatever. But a lot of people listen to us, and they've been messaging me. They listen to us while I guess they work out and I guess they windshield time. So they want the audio back. So I'm start broadcasting simultaneously, the audio and the visual. So again, this is the Power of Ownership podcast. Let's do our introduction. Let's get started. We're not going to keep y'all too long. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a serial entrepreneur, mortgage broker, community activist, published author. My book, Sales, the Nucleus of Any Profession, out right now. I was looking at the sales report yesterday. I'm selling books in New Zealand and Germany, and man, it's crazy. It's almost surreal that it was some notes in my iPad a half ago, and now it's all over the world. People are reading it. People are commenting on it. People are actually making money off of it.
Sweet.
So it's a sweet concept. My second book is almost done. It should be out in February or March. That's going to be a shocker. Man, just blessed. Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's go ahead and get started, man.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Contreras, a geologist here in Houston, Texas. Kind of like a Renaissance man, studier of the arts and sciences. I'm just here to spread the love and try to help people where they need help. And yeah, I'm ready to express what it is we're going to express. So.
Gotcha. The Power of Ownership podcast, guys, if this is your first time tuning in, what we talk about on this podcast is a little bit different. Actually, it's the only podcast of its kind. A lot of podcasts talk about prosperity, success, or financial success. A lot of podcasts maybe talk about the unseen realm. I don't see too many talking about it properly if they are talking about it, but occult knowledge or just knowledge in general from the occult side, the new age spiritualism side. We combine the two together. And we talk about how to bring things into fruition and how to become successful in this particular paradox that we're in right now. Before I get started, I gotta plug one other thing. Again, I'm a mortgage broker by trade. If you need a mortgage, go to hocmortgage.com. Whether you're, not just in Texas, but I'm licensed in Georgia, but even if you're outside of the states, I can still help you. Outside of the states I'm licensed in, my company's licensed in all 50, so I can help you out and then partner up with somebody else to take care of you, take you to the finish line. So hocmortgage.com. We got the Home for the Holidays bus tour next Saturday. So we're taking a bus load of people. We're going to go all to all the open houses, and we're going to have champagne, and we're going to have lecturers. In fact, I got to hop on that today. I got to finish my PowerPoint presentation. Go to hocmortgage.com if you want to get a ride, a bus tour next week. It's going to be about 8 hours. No, about 6 hours from 9 to 3. So we're going to go out to the bus tour. We're going to go to different open houses. We'll get you pre-approved first. You got to fill out an application on my website, hocmortgage.com.
Wasn't it your birthday recently, I think?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
I appreciate it. That's kind of how I wanted to start the show because it relates to what I was talking about. Man, it's 43, man. And
it's a good year.
Yeah, that's if you had that together, that's 7. That's God body. Just if you're talking numerology. And I just feel totally different than I did 10 years ago. On the 33 is 6, that's the incomplete, everything, that's the incomplete stage. 7 is the completion. 8 is the infinity. You know what I mean? So 44, I can't wait to see what 44 beholds. But my thing is, I changed everything. You know what I'm saying? I just feel blessed. I don't know if that's the right word, but people that say that you can't change the trajectory of your life, midlife is wrong because I did it. You know, everything I changed my circle, I changed my way of thinking, I changed where I wanted to go with life. You know, period. This just from 10 years ago. Like even though 10 years ago I had a lot of money, I just wasn't happy though. You know, I just wasn't happy with the people I was around. I just wasn't happy with the circumstance. I wasn't happy with the city I was in. I just wasn't happy at all. It was just like deep down, you know. The only thing I was happy with was my health. You know, I was, a lot thinner. I'm about to get back to that. That's one of the pledges that I made. But overall, it just was not a comfortable situation. Now I changed all of that. I'm in a better city. I like, no disrespect to my city that I was in, but it's not for me. It's a good place to visit, but not. I wouldn't want to live there. It's just the mind frame. In order to change your mind frame, you got to put yourself in a different environment.
Mhm.
So and I had to put myself in a different environment in order to make myself mature and grow. Just different friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, Stephen Contreras right here, just hanging around more positive people. Could project you to a different path. The people I was hanging around, like I told y'all last week, just trying to pull people up drains you. So you want to align yourself with people that's already positive, trying to change the world in a positive sense, and that way your goals are aligned. That way I don't have to pick Steven up. He already knows the mission. You see what I'm saying? So that's a lot of burden that's just off your shoulders when you're hanging around the right people. So changing my circle of friends, Steven, my other brother Steven Chop, just hanging around positive people that's trying to change the world in a positive way.
And that's what
Not,
we're here to do,
yeah,
spread peace and love, positivity.
right, not just draining and take. You
Mhm.
know, just changing cities. Not just a city with is trying to take what you got. Out here in Houston and where I'm at, Katie, everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's just trying to make their own life. Nobody's trying to look at your plate. They're satisfied with their plate or trying to make their own plate bigger. Just that mentality right there is a lot better. I mean, it's just I made a lot of strides. Um, knocked a lot of things out. Finished. I'm to a point in life. I changed professions as well. Got into a business that that's a lot more fulfilling. That I have the purpose. I had a business before that made money, but it was just a money maker. I wasn't passionate about.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's another thing. If you have the passion and you have a purpose, one of my purposes is to bring home ownership to people, to bring ownership. It's a lot more fulfilling than just making money for myself. Am I making sense at all?
Yeah, you are. It's really nice. It's what you
Yeah.
do, making
So
people smile, giving them hope.
right, you got something that you can pass down for generations and generations, and I'm part of that made that happen for them. Especially with our community, with quote unquote minorities that we been redlined for so many years, trying to kind of chased away from home ownership for so many years. If I could kind of change that trajectory a little bit, that just a little bit more fulfilling,
Mhm.
than actually just doing stuff for just the money. So having uh, making money and paper with a purpose is a lot. It's different. It
Mhm.
just puts more fire to your day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, that's. It's just. I try to donate to like charities all the time. Just giving a little bit of money when I have it. Even homeless people on the side of the street, just trying to help them, even though they probably don't like. You know how it is. There's a lot of that, like just disadvantaged homeless people, or some of them are addicted to drugs and stuff. I still just give them $1 though. Just if they're out there just begging, might as well just help them out.
Right. I mean, it's just a lot has changed, man. A lot of stuff I had to cut, leave behind. This, the people I was with, females I was around, cut that out, change my cipher. That's why I don't believe in, I believe it to an extent, but I don't believe in wholeheartedly. Where you got the Vega Zodiac, where you're stuck in these particular houses. I think that you could change. I think that's where you started, but I think the whole human experience is to transcend what you have been given and create yourself as new and create yourself through the Christ consciousness, a new creature.
Mm-hmm.
And I've become a new creature, this mentality wise, over the course of the last 10 years. Where I could walk on water, I could feed the masses with one loaf of bread and two fish. I could talk in tongues now. So and I can move mountains. You got to do all of this stuff, and you got to make the transition in order to do this. You become a new person. So I just wanted to share that with the audience, man. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to become a better person. Just start today, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It took years to, for the shedding my old habits and shedding the old me to become the new me, which is, I try to be positive all the time. And, through positivity, I try to yield these results. And this is just the beginning. Y'all about to see what we're about to do in these next few years. You're about to see the impact we're going to have on this particular paradigm.
Yeah,
So,
it's gonna be fun. Yeah,
right.
it's gonna
So,
be a good one.
right. So y'all, set your watch and watch. Um,
Yeah, Watchmen.
So let's get into a little bit of the topic. Because we had 12 minutes. I damn near took up half our time right fast on the testimony, but it all relates because I want to talk about the knuckleheads. The people head that's kind of like a knuckle. That don't want to listen to anybody. We talked about this last week. Um, and I want to expound on it a little bit more. About people that just will not get it, even though we talked about showing them love last week, injecting positive energy. There are some people, there are some entities, should I say, that don't respond to positivity.
Yeah,
They
it's
have
sad.
to, yeah, they have to be contrarians. They have to, that's the only way they know how to respond is with the negative frequency or low vibrational frequency. How do you deal with these people? How do you and especially when you have to. Let's say you got a project to do and there's an employee and then this is just it's a knucklehead, or you got a family member that's just a knucklehead, or you got somebody in your cipher, which is the easier one to cut off. Because if you're just friends, you can just cut them off. But what if you've been friends a long time and they're still a knucklehead? What do you do with that?
Yeah, it's hard. Like what we were just talking about in the intro was how to keep progressing forward, and these people you take a lot of energy from you, honestly, and it's hard to get them to change. I mean, we always have the hope that they might change. So we just have to lead by example. It's probably the best way for me to put it. Like show them how you're living your life, especially if it's close, like family. You have to lead by example, and if they want to jump on board to doing it right, to financial success, they might come and start asking questions, or like it's like, hey, how did you do this, and that, and we can help show them the way. How to be a better version of themselves, right?
I think you might be onto something right there. I'm thinking it's twofold. I think twofold. I think some people is just meant to be that opposition.
Mhm.
They come here to be contrarians, or they come here to be what we call Debbie Downers or negative Nancy's or so on and so forth. So they don't understand the high frequency. They want to be low frequency beings. So whatever you do,
High density, right?
yeah, they want to be dense. They want to be where they're at. Because it's so easy to do, and you got to have those type of people here in order to see the opposite. In order for you to realize the opposite, and out, the internalize the opposite. So some people have to be like they are. So my thing is to maneuver around them, recognize that person, maneuver around them. But at the same time, you got people that you almost have to deal with. They're going to manifest themselves in different ways. So, like we talked about last week, inject the love, inject the positive. They don't respond to the positive. Then you might be onto something about levels of success. So maybe they will respond to when we pull up in Lambos. Maybe they will respond to they're seeing the private jets. But then again, they might not. You got people that's still gonna, talk smack. And then you get, when you do reach that level of success, you got even more enemies. Now they try, so you got people now. You got a broader audience on. You got people that you don't even know trying to stop your success just because they don't have the same level of success. So
Yeah, yeah, it's weird, right? Like you would think that, like, like talking about the vibrations, you think about like people would be happy for you, but they're not. And what can you do? Like at that point, it's real difficult.
right,
You might just have to cut them off, right? It's like what you said.
well, that's the easy way out. So we're trying
I
to,
know.
it's that's why I wanted to talk about the subject, just to kind of mastermind on it. It's a tough subject because you got people that maybe blood family members that you want to have. You always want for your brother what you want for yourself.
Exactly.
Well, how can you want for somebody that don't want the same thing for themselves? They're not displaying any efforts to make any changes to put themselves in a position like you are. What do you do? I talked
Yes.
about on the eighth. You can't preach to them too much because that's not working. You show them, you pull up in something, you pull up in nice car or whatever. They knock that. They see you got a nice house or whatever. They knock that. So what can you do with that person,
Mhm.
that entity? And it's always going to be there because like we said, even once we get to another level of success, now is people that we don't know is that entity. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And hopefully like they won't think about it just like monetarily too. Like we don't. I mean, money is great. It makes everything easier. But to be happy is more than money.
right. Well, I
So
think some people here are at their happiest when they have somebody else to talk about. I think negativity is their happiness.
I would agree. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So with people like that, those are just with the low vibrate, call it what they are. They are the in this particular realm. They are the demons.
Mhm. Yep. And sometimes they don't even realize it.
Right.
So,
So I mean, the only thing that you could do, and this is figuratively speaking, what do you do with demons? You exercise them. Exercise.
yeah.
I mean, so and try
Pull
to
it.
get
Yeah. I was gonna say pull it out of them.
right. You
Just
try to pull that out of them, but I mean,
Constantine, right?
right. So I mean, it's tough. I mean, like you can. I guess you could put the mirror in their face and try to see, hey, look, this is what you've become.
Mhm.
But at the same time, just like I told you, just to testify at the earlier in the show, like the reason why I feel so blessed now, is because I did change my environment. I did change the cipher that people I was hanging around, and it makes me feel a lot better about myself. Just not being around negative people, or not having to be around negative people. It makes me propel myself to a different level.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's the tough situation. How do you deal with people that's contrarians that you kind of have to deal with, besides cutting them off?
Yeah. And it goes back down to positivity, right? It's lead by example. Got
Right.
to.
Yeah, I guess you got to kind of ignore them to a sense, because if you feed in their energy, you expand you expand their energy if you feed into it.
Yep.
So you kind of got to ignore them. They're gonna say what they, that's the only advice I can. That's the best that I can get. So stay positive.
Mhm.
I always tell you. I don't know if you remember this one. Why do cops stand sideways when they're shooting?
Less of a target, right?
Less of a target. So
Yeah.
you got to be less of a target by staying positive.
Hmm.
So make it hard for them to be negative about you.
Yeah.
You know.
And you're right. Negativity is real draining, So I'm really happy for you when you said you found a space where you don't have to give out so much energy. You're being able to manifest it more inwards. It's a good feeling, for
Right.
sure.
Right. Well, just everything too. Just to go back for a second before we go to the next topic. Even like when I was in like the music industry, you know, um, it was stressful because my talent I was doing for someone else.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm writing this, I'm doing this, I'm recording this, but I'm not enjoying this for myself. I'm thinking of how other people will feel about this. So it's not the same level of creation. When we do the podcast, you know, we could just be free. We're gonna eventually, our vibe is gonna find our tribe.
Mhm.
The more
Yep.
we do this, so I don't have to. This with a new level of understanding. I don't have to alter myself or to gain an audience. It's just eventually the vibe is gonna find our tribe and find our cult following.
It's,
Um,
it's true. It's true.
so it's not the pressure to alter myself. I can be myself and create, even with like the books and stuff like that. Is eventually, the vibe is gonna find its tribe. So I could just be myself and create. It's a
Mhm.
difference than before when I was trying to create music for other people that hopefully that they would like. So
Yeah, it's pure freedom, is what it is.
freedom, like freedom to express and create, and that's
Mhm.
what we're here for. And to find that,
Yep.
I had to go through trial and error in order to find that space, and that's the thing is, you got artists that can't find that space until they're well established, and they still can't find that space. You got, as far as musicians, they still have to create stuff that other people with other people in mind.
Yeah.
So we have the freedom to just create, express ourselves, and all we have to do is keep persistent and keep consistent, and eventually the audience will find us.
Mhm.
So it's just what it is. Let's deal into this last one. We got about 5 more minutes left. It kind of relates to um, the previous one, the previous question. I think most people, this is this analyzing that particular person entity that we was talking about, that low vibrational.
Mhm.
I think something happened in their life that caused them to be, the law of cause and effect. I think something where they're missing something family wise, something happened as far as separation issues, whatever. These people want more compliments than actual prosperity itself. So I think something happened when they were younger, that they need validation at all times. And especially like the males, I kind of expect that for the females, because females like compliments and they need outside validation to make them feel good. Well, males, we're supposed to be validated by the results.
Mhm.
So and a lot of nowadays, especially with the millennials, males is that they need validation almost like a female. So what do you do with people that prefer props over paper and prosperity?
Yeah, it's difficult because like they're stuck in the material world. That's what they care about, and that's a big problem with success too. Is like if they're only doing it for the material, how can they level up per se? Like how they don't understand what it means not to have the props in their life. And going back to the trauma, or like going back to like the issues, I think it is trauma that is holding a lot of people back and like making them feel like they need the props to hold up their life, just like a crutch. They'd rather have walk around with a cane than learning how to like fix the issue with proper stretching. So
Right.
I
Well,
think
yeah, that those props are like the the false drugs.
yeah.
That's like a drug, like just like with Instagram, those likes. People went crazy when they took away the likes comment.
Right, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
so it's like that is like the substitute drug for like love, the
Mhm.
escapism. So they really don't want the actual results themselves. They want the quick fix. They want the quick high. And the quick high is just to do a little bit, to get some type of compliment. And they don't want to finish the actual project. They want to just, all right, hey, I did this. Can I? Nobody else did this. I did this. At least can I? Like, man, you're supposed to do this, to do this, to do this.
Mhm.
But they want the props at all times, and I don't. And that's their main focus. If you just wanted to get that like, or just want to get that little compliment, you're not going to see it to the end. Sometimes you might not get some things we might not get compliments on until we're gone.
Yeah, it's a thankless job.
Right. Especially where we're at. Like, we it's a mixture. We got hate and love. And I'm surprised that we got hate this early before the money even came.
Mhm.
So
It's what it is.
you get hate for trying to spread love. So it's crazy. So I mean, it's just what it is, man. Like, but if we were in it for props, we would have stopped a long time ago. And this is just the first year.
Mhm.
Not even a full year yet. It's be a full year in February. So just with the distractions, and that's just like anything. You're gonna see you're gonna be tested, you know, if you're gonna be, anything we're having, you're gonna have it's not a clean road, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's why that's why the props are there. Is like, can you learn how to prop yourself up without them, right? So
Right.
you can. It's learning is what it is. Is like, but people are tend to be lazy and they don't want to keep on learning, right? And so they stop and then rather have like Instagram, which I like Instagram. We're on it,
Right.
but it's just
Right.
like it's like why don't you go get those likes like in the real life too? If you want to go and see someone or have someone like you think is going to like the photo, reach out to them. Talk to them.
My vision of what people are like is like props are like water breaks.
Hmm.
When you're practicing or when you're working out. So instead of working out to get your goal, you work out to get that water break. And
True.
you're having around the water station instead of working out.
Yep. Or nowadays, it's like going back. It's like, oh, I need to check the Instagram.
Right.
Like instead of working out.
Right. Or yeah, they get that, because the endorphins in the brain are, so they'll do a set of something, then they'll be on Instagram for 5 minutes.
Hmm.
Then they'll do another set of something. Then, so you'll never get to where you want to go if you're in search of props
Yep.
first.
Yeah, and just going full circle, it's like, and it's because they need the props because of some type of event that happened in their life, like you said,
Right.
like that they're blocking in their mind. They have to overcome it.
Right. Right. Well, they supplement for something, daddy issues, mommy issues.
Hmm.
Somebody didn't pay them attention, so they need that attention, and they crave that attention like sugar.
Yep.
They crave that attention like some type of drug.
Yep.
And people that are successful, they know how to. They understand that the attention is going to come with success, but they don't crave the attention.
Yeah.
They crave the success itself. You know, the actual results, the actual financial freedom, and what to do with the financial freedom. Let's take it a step further. Financial freedom is one thing, but what to do with the financial freedom, how you could change the world with it.
Yeah. Some people they step down from that path too once they reach it.
Right,
They turn back, which is it's never a good idea.
right. Well, some people just didn't mature enough. They thought the money itself would make you happy, and money
Mhm.
itself can never make you happy. Is what you do with
Yep.
it is your mission, what it allows you to do. It's almost like in this particular paradigm, it's the power. And power
It's true.
itself, power corrupts absolutely. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if you got to learn how to alchemize that power into having a mission.
Yeah.
So the money itself will never make you happy. It's what you do with it and what you create has got to be the actual focus and the results from that.
Yeah, and there's a line from Kanye West Power, do you have the power to let power go? And I'm not saying not to be successful, but know where your power is, like you said, manifesting around itself, pulling the power inward towards you to be able to boost and prop everything else up that you need to. And that's not that's not destructive power. That's the loving power.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So again, we're not gonna keep y'all too long. We're at the 32 mark right now. We're gonna try to wrap it up for 33, at 33 at least, or close to it. Join us again at Billionaire Loan Officer on Instagram. Hold on a second. At Instagram, Facebook. This you can Google me now. Just Google Brandon B. Dixon. And everything will pop up. My books, the social media, everything, my LinkedIn. Go to at billionaireloanofficer.com. I have these vlogs that I'm gonna start dropping to YouTube. I just started dropping them again yesterday. It's called APE, All Positive Energy. I'm going to discuss these points, and then we're going to wrap them up on Sundays on the Power of Ownership podcast. And we're going to have some special guests coming soon. I'm going to start that back here probably towards the holiday time because a lot of people are at the house. So I'm gonna start having some more guests here coming soon, and we're gonna start making our rounds. So another thing, we need to start making our rounds on the podcast carousel here. So got a lot of
Okay.
people been asking us to get in on their podcast. So
We
uh,
should go. We should go get Kanye West from Lakewood real quick.
right. I mean, well, a couple of brothers I know for sure that have been asking us to come on, and vice versa, they've been asking to come on our show. Same
Okay.
thing as Stephen Contreras, Stephen_Contreras_90 on Instagram, and Stephen Contreras on Facebook. Go ahead, Adam. Again, let me plug everything. I got a home for the holidays. If you're trying to get in the house before the holiday time, Christmas time, now's the time right now. We got a open house bus tour, 23rd of November, next Saturday. Go to my website, www.hlcmortgage.com, fill out an application to reserve your seat on the bus. Do that now. At billionaireloanofficer.com, I went to a seminar just to share real quickly. The best always trying to get better. So I went to a seminar with Brian Bagwell, excuse me, on Wednesday, and he was talking about coaching, and I didn't know coaching was that expensive, so my prices are pretty reasonable. I need to boost my prices up a little bit more. Go to billionaireloanofficer.com if you want me to coach you. If you need accountability coaching, you want me to do a speech. You want even Stephen Contreras and I you want us to do a speech or want us to appear on your podcast, or you want me to coach you, sales train you, whatever. Go to www.billionaireloanofficer.com to book us, and we'll go from there. To book me, or you want to be one of my mentees, you're trying to get in the real estate business, hit me. www.billionaireloanofficer.com. I'm doing coaching all next year as well. Any other thing, like I said, you got a topic that you want to discuss with me, call me anytime, 832-775-8357. I'm available 24/7. I'm one of them guys, so I don't sleep. you know,
It
you know,
happens, right?
right. That's it. Even when I'm asleep, I'm awake. So, Steven, you got anything you want to plug real fast before we get out of here?
Just keep it positive. You know, the grind never stops. Always keep learning. And when you watch these videos, guys, if you like feel like you missed something, go back and rewatch them, slow it down, pause it, hit the like buttons, tell all your friends, and yeah, keep working hard. You know, it's the
Yep.
only thing to do.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep coming at you weekly, man. We're gonna keep getting this thing better and better. It's just what it is, man. We're gonna get more and more heavily produced as the audience builds, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna keep putting it out. I know there's a market for what we're talking about. Intellectualism and prosperity and new age spiritualism
Hmm.
and positivity. I know we might not be the majority, but there are people. There are positive people that need a outlet to vent and an outlet to express themselves. So this is the show to do that. The power of ownership. You got to own the mind, body, and soul first. So that's more important before you can own anything else in this material realm. Again, I'm gonna say God is a verb, and personal responsibility is your only savior. I need to put that in the quotation. I'm gonna have that ready for next show. But
That's
God is
sweet.
a verb. Personal responsibility is your only savior. Merch is still available too. So get them God is a verb t-shirts. With that, we'll
Peace.
say peace.